Could they keep 9 O-linemen? Possibly. Could they keep 8? They might have to go down that low. And Kennard and Prince Segonaga are 8 and 9 on my book.
All right. Man, I know people aren't going to like it, but the simple fact of the matter is that there's still no guarantee that Justyn Ross makes this roster. But they've been pumping him up. They have been showing him in some of, Sky Moore's video. They have been showing some of the highlights. And again, if he were to not make this roster, because again, I think trust and knowing your role is a huge part of being a wide receiver in this offense. Go back to the Tyreek Hill era. Demarcus Robinson had his moments, but still was not a very trustworthy player in terms of where he was supposed to be on the field. It was more of an outside of the pocket kind of guy who read Mahomes. Byron Pringle, kind of the same. There wasn't any of these wide receivers that Patrick Mahomes had a ton of trust in. McCole Hardman didn't have that a lot before last year. I think he was much better in that regard last year. But going forward, that's going to play a huge role in how wide receivers make this team be on the roster. The fact that Richie James was such a huge third down chain mover for the Giants plays a big role in his getting on this roster, not just as a special teams guy because he has that return ability, but being able to get on the field in some key situations. You might see him on the field over some of the younger players in key moments, like gotta have it moments, because he has this innate understanding of how to get open on third down. It's different, and that's something that you're gonna have to look for.
Judging by what I heard coming out of OTAs, I have Richie James the number 4 receiver on this roster right now.
Woo! I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good thing because it allows Justin Watson to play his role to the utmost of his ability. It allows Rashee Rice to come along at his pace, and I think that's a good thing overall. It's just going to be weird to be seeing 17 do something a little bit different, but in a good way, I think. So, get
you're
used to it.
You're going to go from seeing this guy that's just speed demon, lightning in a bottle to someone who's, hey, he's in the right spot. He's making the catch. And it's first down.
I think all those guys, though, Jeremy, to answer your question, those guys could be up for grabs if you were to try to sneak them onto the practice squad. I don't think anybody's coming for Kennard. I think Wanago will go. I think Ross will go. So we'll see. Did you see the report that Albert Breer, thank you, Terry. I assume that's Albert Breer, about the Chiefs and Chris Jones having extension ready now until camp. Yeah, somewhere in that gap. I did see that, and I do think that's real. The only thing that could have a hiccup, I kind of envision this thing where he comes into camp the day before, signs it, and goes right out to practice. Sometimes that doesn't happen, schedules, whatever. It could be a couple days into camp, possibly. For Chris Jones, if he misses the first few days of camp, I ain't worried about it at all. And I'm sure the team isn't either. So we could see that. That wouldn't give you any pause, would it?
No, like I said, we've been here, we've done that. Chris does not seem worried in the slightest. I know he's posting cryptic Instagram posts and stuff like that, but this is just part of the ball game at this point for him. He's like, this is expected of me. If I don't show a little bit of hesitation or like time's ticking, some people can be like, well, this is not a big deal at all. They're going to sign him like tomorrow. He's got to add a little bit of, just sprinkle a little bit of uncertainty on the situation.
Keep everybody interested. I too would have thought that he would show up for the rings ceremony, but
he said he was
sick. Yeah, okay, it works. Whatever. So Jackson, before camp or right at the beginning of camp is our thought. I do carry on that. Travis, thank you for your support, pal. We appreciate you. I'm going to come back and find a question, or if you have any other comments, pal. But thank you. Corbin, thoughts on the new one-day rule to trim down from 90 to 53, good or bad? I think it's tough, man. And I think you might see some teams just ignore that and let some guys go ahead of time anyway. Because it's difficult because once it starts, like it's going to be that fury that comes when the 7th round hits in the draft and everybody's trying to sign undrafted free agents and you're trying to find them and get them on the phone and their agents. Same thing's going to happen on cutdown day if everybody's letting go of that many players at once. So I think there will be a trickle. But I'll tell you the other toll. You tell me how important you think this is, because I think the other toll comes in on the coaches and having to cut all those guys all at once.
Like you're going through OTAs, you're going through training camps, you're going through all of this stuff, getting to know these guys, you're forming relationships with them. And as tough as it is, we've all seen the movies. Like it reminds me of it when we're watching the movie Invincible with Mark Wahlberg from the Philadelphia Eagles, when he's playing Papali. Like you get to see some of these moments on the movie screens. It's even more intimate. It's more emotional, especially with Hard Knocks right now. We get intimate details into how this goes. And so imagine having to do that to 40 plus players, and all the coaches have to do it on the same day. You have to, that's a tough thing to ask of anybody, and making coaches do it in one day, all of them on the same day. It's a tough thing to do. So I agree with you. I think there'll probably be some medical things that happen where he's not going to be able to continue with us for now, but stuff like that.
I'll say this too. It's Jags on Hard Knocks this year, right?
I don't think it's been determined yet.
Oh, I thought it had been announced. Okay. But I know a lot of people are like, hey, we'd like to see the Reed era of, we got to see Herm when the Chiefs were on Hard Knocks. And I know some people want to see that again. I will say this. I don't think that's ever going to happen because I don't think Andy wants cameras in there. Just letting Stone Street do his thing. I think that's probably way more than they want in the first place. But I will say this. There would be some things gained from that, but they might be competitive advantage too. So enjoy what we see from another team. I don't know who it'll be if it's not the Jags, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
Christo, thank you